I'm Senior Business Analyst Jordan Hall from Aspire Logic Consulting Group. And here we put internal communication as our number two priority, right behind great customer service. As you will see in our company background and values, how we how we quickly became a trendsetter in how to properly run a great corporation. Logic Consulting Group was created back in 2009 after the market crashed in 2008. Back then, that's when we saw an opportunity to help organizations rebuild and restructure for the future. We've been accredited with JD Power's Most Credible Consulting Firm Award for the past 3 years. You know how we did that? By putting actions over words, because actions always speak louder than words at Aspire. We've built our credibility by focusing on three main factors that include character, caring, and competence. In order to display good character, we've held ourselves to the highest of ethics codes and abide and exceed the expectations right down to the T. To display caring, we've been involved in so many social welfare programs in order to give back to our community and make the world a better place. Finally, in order to display competence, we have demonstrated again and again the highest level of integrity by working with the top companies such as Apple, Microsoft, and Google, and we all know these top companies love their confidentiality, and we do too at Inspire. The biggest cases we ever did back in 2016 were helping out the tragic downfall of the LA Clippers after the Donald Sterling case. That's when we came up with our golden rule. And our golden rule is we will not accept any amount of money if the company is not running 3 times more smoothly than it did before we got the call. We have been held of the highest confidentiality, like I said in the last slide, from our biggest companies, and that's why we are the go-to consultants when you want permanent positive change. Now that you have been informed on the company background, our Chief Recruiting Officer, Tony Owens, will now discuss the Statement of Need.
After talking to students on campus, most have issues with the poor communication of the financial aid department. Several students have agreed that it is difficult to get in contact with the department. Some have complained that it takes the financial aid department too long to respond to emails, asking very important questions. Others have spoken about the times they have called the department with specific questions, only to be placed on hold for over half an hour. There have also been complaints from students and parents about the lack of staff members within the financial aid department who can answer the tough questions.
Aspire Logic Consulting is a team of well-seasoned professionals that are dedicated to improving internal communications in departments that range from Greek life to the advising center, while conducting a brief yet detailed review of the financial aid office's current form of internal communication. We've been able to create a list of recommendations that would improve upon the foundation of internal communication methods that are already being utilized. We are confident that through a few key steps in the financial aid office, we will be able to improve internal communication by up to 63%. By utilizing charts in conjunction with a written suggestion, Aspire Logic Consulting has outlined some key focus points in order to make necessary recommendations. In the 21st century, if your organization doesn't utilize email, you'd be stuck in the dark ages. The financial aid office understands this. In fact, the financial aid office's most utilized form of internal communication is email. While email remains an extremely efficient and cost-effective way to communicate, it is best to be used in moderation. Currently, emails are used by all forms of staff extensively. We recommend cutting down on so much email in hopes the financial aid office will use more in-person communication in order to create a more human experience. Aspire Logic Consulting is pleased to provide valuable information to improve internal communication within the financial aid office. With implementation of all of our suggestions, we are confident that the internal communication will excel tremendously. We here at Aspire Logic Consulting greatly appreciate your consideration and partnership, and we look forward to talking to the financial aid office to the next level. While going over your mediums of external communication and the establishment's perception from the general public's view, we've came up with suggestions to drastically improve the way the financial aid office communicates externally. By taking the following steps to improve external communications, we here at Aspire Logic Consulting Company promise that the financial aid office will excel. Throughout this report, we have provided substantial promotions using charts of surveys that we've conducted throughout campus. We believe the ability to communicate in an efficient and effective manner externally is a key to successful operations. Current communication is primarily done through writing. In today's world, just about every organization and company uses email to communicate. Over the past few decades, technology has rapidly transformed the way we currently communicate. That brings about many benefits, but along with that, it brings a few downfalls. The rise of new communication technology has led to more barriers between service providers and clients, both physically and emotionally. Email is great for cutting costs and improving efficiency, but it lacks a lot of emotional connection from a face-to-face experience. Most clients ideally prefer to be able to speak to a person in real life as opposed to a computer screen. Also, the downfall of email is that it can lead to spam mail and fraudulent activity, which causes clients harm that could have easily been avoided. The prime writing communication of the financial aid office is email. It's a tool used to address concerns or questions that students may pose. I've made a chart that addresses how communication is primarily done externally, and over 50% is done through email, which can lead to a few issues in the long run. Nevertheless, Aspire Logic Consulting is more than happy to provide a clear outline to help improve the financial aid office in external communications with its target audience. If the financial aid office takes measures to implement our suggested strategies, then the financial aid office will improve substantially. Aspire Logic Consulting has a positive outlook on the financial aid office's near future, and we will make it our focus on accelerating your perception and communication within the University of West Georgia campus. Next, let me introduce you to our company's Change Manager Officer, Mr. Yeargan.
Aspire Logic Company will always focus on the impact that the department has on each individuals that it helps, because the individual is what helps make the company run as smooth as possible. It helps the department maintain in business. It helps the overall effect of everything. So Aspire will give you a list of recommendations that will help you with your company no matter what it is, because sometimes you may not know all of the little problems that may be wrong with your department, so it's easier to have their list of recommendations to go ahead and get everything running as smoothly as possible. Aspire Logic Company's first action in each company will always be the positives and the negatives. We will make sure that your company is running as smoothly as possible to make sure that each individual that goes into your department is going to leave happy, because that's the biggest thing, is making sure that everyone leaves happy, and so your department can run and it can continue to stay in business. Our company's first recommendation would be to make sure that you have enough employees that can assess any individual that walks in. Like most fixes, they normally only take like 5 seconds and the problem is fixed. So why would someone want to wait in line for an hour just to fix one problem? And just like answering the phones, like most people, they don't have time to answer the phone if you have 2 employees. So it's better just go ahead and have that amount of employees that can go ahead and help with any problem, no matter if it's inside the department or outside of the department. The next recommendation that our department gives is to make sure that you are involved in the community and every individual knows what you can do to help them. The more that you are involved, no matter if it's a pop-up shop at a community fair or if it's one of these whole big things that you can go ahead and present yourself, as long as the individuals can have a one-on-one time to know what your company can do for them, is always a positive from there. So make sure that your company is as involved with the community as possible. The final recommendation that Aspire will give you is to go ahead and have surveys and go ahead and see how the individuals think of your company. You may not know every little detail that is wrong with your company or why your individual is unhappy, but if you have these surveys, then you can go ahead and you can see what is exactly wrong with your company or what the positives or the negatives would be in your company to make sure that you have an overall improving department that can last a long time from there. Aspire Logic Company will always try to improve every department as much as possible to make sure that your department runs in tip-top shape. Now I'll go ahead and give you over to Freddie so he can go ahead and close you out. Thank you.
Conclusion. Aspire Logic Consulting Group is a world-class organization that is highly trained in order to best assist you in your business endeavors. With our consultants and like-minded individuals, we are more than qualified to help your company reach new heights. Our goal here is to maintain our principles in communication and to service you in the best way we can. We have consultants always available to our clients. Look, we understand that we are young, but we're goal-driven and open-minded. We are free-spirited individuals, so why not welcome a new way of thinking? In the age of social media, where our world is connected like never before, why not try to relate to the clients on another level? Thank you for your time. Any questions?